What's up, everybody? It's FFBoogeyman here with some draft strategy and tips for your startup drafts. And of course, we'll put out more videos for the rookie draft and really help you fine-tune the process. Like I said, guys, we're not just here for simple advice and what have you. We're here to help you really raise your skill as a Dynasty player. So maybe 3-4 years from now, you won't have to watch these videos so much. You'll be a seasoned pro, basically. I mean, capable of even banging with the big dogs like I do in these analyst invitationals every year. Like I said, we're not just here to really gloss over things. We're going to dig our teeth into it. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. The more likes and subscribes we get, the better and better content and the more of it we can produce for you. Also, in the comment section below, if there's a specific player you want to know about, if there's any specific questions that you have, please post below and I can put a video out for you. But let's dig into it, shall we? This is dedicated to your startup drafts. Now, first and foremost, know your scoring system. I preach this year in, year out, whether it be quarterback premium, which is like 6-point passing touchdowns, whether it be running back premium, which can be 0.25 points to half a point per carry, tight end premium, whatever it is, know your draft, and know your scoring system. This is really going to help you navigate your draft and understand where your value is. What's going to hold the most value per se for trades down the line, because as we all know, people that are getting into Dynasty this time of year, guys, so they can trade and stay active year round. So let's get you guys that are basically gold at their position right now and really help you take your roster from being right on par with everybody else's, just a tier higher and do better for you. So let's start off and say a Superflex, because these are probably the most popular formats of Dynasty leagues worldwide. Really, Superflex, if you've never played one before, this is almost how Dynasty should be played. If you haven't done one before, I suggest getting into one, even if it's free, just for fun, just to experience it. I'll be coming out with more and more Dynasty leagues for the group and for these people watching these videos as we progress. So you can get involved in the process, play with us, and really get better and better as the years go by. I mean, by the end of this year, if I could have you guys, being contenders, if you're not already, year in, year out, I call that doing my job. And a super flex, though. Say you're in the first round of your startup drafts. A guy like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert's probably going in the second round at this point, unless there's a run on the position. They are going to be the best assets that you can have in your Superflex Dynasty leagues. Patrick Mahomes will probably be off the board at pick 101 or 102. And the reason being, guys, is because quarterbacks and running backs are a little different in these formats than they are in most leagues, because quarterbacks can take a while to develop, similar to a tight end. Once you draft a rookie, unless it's a guy like Trevor Lawrence or the like, you're really going to have a hard time putting somebody in that Superflex right away. So you're going to want to go ahead and get your two studs at the position as early as possible. So say you get your Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, what have you, in the first round of your draft. After that, I would cement yourself at running back. These are going to be the building blocks of your teams, guys. This is going to be the foundation for your squad for years to come. What you're going to want to look at here is not just how young they are or their production, what have you. What you're going to want is guys on good contract situations. I'm talking about rookies like J.K. Dobbins. I'm talking about guys like Antonio Gibson, James Robinson. They're really going to hold more value than even, say, a guy like Nick Chubb. And let me tell you why. A lot of these physical backs, like you see with Josh Jacobs, that have heavy workloads, are going to get banged up. They're not like Alvin Kamara, who can bounce the ball outside and just make it seem effortless, like make people miss, which is a great metric when you're looking at running backs, because the more and more contact they absorb, the earlier in their careers their bodies will break down more often than not. So these guys are really going to be more valuable for longer periods of time. Also, when it comes to your rookie drafts or your startup drafts, what you're really going to look for is value. Understanding your tiers and where your value is, because let's face it, trading picks as far as startup drafts are concerned is really becoming lost with the times. You're not really going to get the same value today that you would have gotten years ago. So you're trying to trade up into the third to get a player that you like, say like maybe a James Robinson or a Ryan Tannehill. You'd be trading basically your third later on or your fourth and probably a 6th or a 5th just to get to move up, guys. People are getting greedy here, and this is not the way to go. If you're not in a 14-teamer or a 16-teamer, there's absolutely no reason why you should be worrying about trading up, because as you'll see, as the draft continues to progress, there is going to be fantastic value out there everywhere, and we're going to get into those guys too. Basically, say you go running back heavy early on, even if it is a super flex. Let's say you go ahead and get maybe a Saquon or a McCaffrey or a Kamara, what have you, and then you want to turn around and get a Gibson. That's fine, or a J.K. Dobbins. Then at that point, you can get a Ryan Tannehill, whose numbers are actually comparable to that of Patrick Mahomes. You can go ahead and get a guy like Matt Ryan in the 7th. But the trick is when it comes to getting a guy like Matt Ryan, who's up there into his mid to late 30s, is you're going to want to draft a rookie quarterback in the mid to later end of that first round of your rookie draft. And the reason being is that while Matt Ryan is playing out his final years, you can wait for that rookie to develop. And that makes a fine QB too. I mean, even a quarterback 1. You can draft Aaron Rodgers in the 3rd or 4th, so long as you draft Jordan Love in the 9th or 10th round. And let me tell you, that's just security right there. That way you get your bangers. You get these guys who are going to come in and put up those big numbers and boom for you week in and week out and help you get to those playoffs and that championship. But let's see. Once you get into it, even if it's tight end premium, please do not go for guys like Kittle and Kelsey. They are growing a bit long in the tooth. I would rather see you get a running back there or another top-tier quarterback than going after a tight end, because you have guys like TJ Hawkinson going in the 6th, 7th round. You have Darren Waller going in the mid-4th round, okay? There is no reason, absolutely no reason, why you should go for a Kittle when, say, you could even get Logan Thomas in the 8th round or 7th round of a tight end premium league. You're still going to get those points. You're still going to get maybe not that level of production, but your overall production as far as points are concerned in your starting lineups is going to be better. And that's what it's all about when it comes to winning week to week and year to year, as these guys are also younger. But let's see, other notable ADP bargains. Like I mentioned, Matt Ryan in the 7th, Rodgers in the 3rd, Kirk Cousins is going in the 6th or 7th in Superflex, Justin Herbert's going in the 2nd round in Superflex. There is absolutely no reason why you should burn high picks on these guys early on. As far as wide receivers are concerned, T. Higgins is going in the 5th round, guys. He is probably the hottest buy now target there is. T. Higgins is absolutely going to explode. You got guys like DJ Moore in the 5th round also. You also have guys like Chase Claypool in the 4th or 5th. I mean, this is really what you're looking for here, because let me tell you what, when it comes to trading guys in the months to come, wide receivers are not going to hold as much value as running backs, especially your bell cow backs. So please do yourselves a favor, get these guys early on. If you like to go running back heavy, I'm not saying draft 3 running backs in the first 4 or 5 rounds. Absolutely don't do that, because I'm going to do you another solid here. You got Rashad Penny coming out this year, probably should lead the backfield for the Seahawks with Chris Carson being out of the picture in all likelihood. You got Ronald Jones going in the 8th round, guys. Let's face it, Leonard Fournette is dealing with so many health issues as far as that ankle is concerned, which was a concern coming out of college in the first place. But Jones is likely to lead that backfield. Keyshawn Vaughn has really yet to develop to a point where he could threaten Jones for that starting job. Let's face it. I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn was a great sleeper coming out, but he is way overvalued right now. But this way, like I said, you get your starting quarterback down, you get your you get your young running backs down. This is what we call fantasy gold right here, guys. Your J.K. Dobbins, like I said before, your Antonio Gibsons. These guys are what are really going to matter for your team as far as long-term success is concerned. I mean, and also because really it's all about flexibility. All you guys basically who are playing Dynasty now have been playing redraft for so many years that you should know about being flexible in your drafts. As long as you're flexible and you can adapt and you're not just burning picks trying to trade up for guys, you are that much stronger for it. I mean, being adaptable is really the key here. When you can navigate your draft knowing that there is going to be a pick that's going to have similar value as far as overall points are concerned at the end of the year, later on, that really helps you get your foundation set. And foundation is the name of the game when it comes to Dynasty. It's about youth, it's about talent, and it's about contract situations. Because when you get to guys like Nick Chubb, when you get to guys like Josh Jacobs, guys, these guys that have these tremendous workloads and that very physical style of running, a lot of teams will do what we call contract front loading. They'll put a lot of guaranteed money in the first couple of years and towards the fourth year of that rookie contract, you're going to see very little guaranteed money because they're worried about what we call the 1,000 touch mark right here. And what that is basically the more miles you put on a running back of that physical style, the more likely their bodies are to break down at a young age. So like I said, this is where it really comes to youth, not just style of play, but you're really looking for those guys who are going to last and hold that value for you. And now let's get into some sleepers, shall we? Because this is really what helps you be flexible. I went over some other, bargains at their average draft position, but I mean, look at guys like Brandon Ayuk, guys, 4th to 5th round. I mean, why burn up a 2nd round draft pick on a Calvin Ridley or, DK Metcalf, really, when you can have similar production from a guy like DJ Moore in the 5th round? And wide receivers, especially in this draft class and that of 2022, are going to basically be a dime a dozen. This year you have 3 guaranteed elite wide receivers. Next year you have 4 to 5, even though it's a very running back heavy class. This year, notably, you have Smith. You have guys like Rondale Moore, et cetera, who are going to come out and, depending on their landing spot, could produce right away for you. And even still, it's not about dominating your first year so much as it is years 2 through 5 or 6. You don't want to be in a rebuild after the first 2 to 3 years, taking a lot of age and what we call, I want to say, guarantees, because basically, what these guys are going to do for a year or two, but it's not about a year or two. It's about the long haul here, building a dynasty, people. And really, if you were to draft a guy like a Chubb or what have you early on, trust me, he is not going to be worth as much as far as trade bait is concerned. What you're really going to want to do is get those young quarterbacks, guys like Justin Herbert. I mean, guys like, Joe Burrow. Your Josh Allens. They are really going to be, especially in a super flex, the best trade bait you could possibly have. You put one of those guys on a block, people are going to be trying to give you an arm and a leg for them, especially when it comes to them, your running backs, your young guys. People will realize the error of their ways drafting a lot of age over youth as time progresses, and these picks will be worth more and more. But anyway, stay tuned for more draft strategy. We're going to get into some player profiles and some sleeper picks. We're going to be digging really deep next video. So stay tuned, folks. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to be coming at you with some more great content to help you take your fantasy play to the next level.